Today I wanted to get into the title of this podcast that Jay has started called Pursuing Excellence. How long have you been doing it now?
About 2 years.
Okay, it's about 2 years.
Yeah.
And, I've been thinking about how that title is so much more than just a title,
Yeah.
and that in life is almost like essential, if you will, to have a never-ending pursuit of excellence. That's not like a obtainable thing. That's something that you keep chasing towards. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to ask you, what was your motivation for like pursuing excellence, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I would say pursuing excellence for me is just like, we all have goals and ambitions in life, right? Things that we're striving for, that we're chasing after, and pursuing excellence to me is getting up every day and doing things that I need to do to reach that point, to reach those goals, get that done. And it's a mindset that I adopted really, playing football in high school and stuff, and just like, because I'm trying to get better each and every day, and I just started using that in life, and then one day I decided to start a podcast, right, in high school, senior year, pursuing excellence, and the title, man, yeah, it's like I said, just chasing after, excellence is the standard, man, to me. It's like I can always be better, and it's just striving for that. That's really why I chose to do this podcast, to inspire others, and to just show that you can do anything you put your mind to, man, as long as you just chasing after it, so, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I know for me, like, the first time I was on here, which I had a great time filming, by the way,
Yeah.
it kind of stuck with me, like the title being Pursuing Excellence. And when you said I had the opportunity, like you wanted me to pick the topic, I'm like, that's crazy, because I was thinking about that. Like I told you, I had an idea. I was going to call you after I got back from the gym. And like I talked about in my last episode on my podcast that it's like a thing that a lot of people fail to do in their pursuit of excellence is learn from others. They get so caught up on being themselves and like hating on others almost, if you will. Like if somebody's doing better than you in the same thing, you almost have a tendency to hate and be like, dang, I wish that was me, instead of looking at them and saying, what are they doing that I'm not doing that I can apply to myself? So that way you're in the pursuit of the position that you want to be in. Like if they're here and you're here, how can I get there? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just your title being that, and you actually taking the steps to, as in your senior year of high school, like want to pursue excellence and start this podcast and many other forms of life. You have your other podcast too. Like, I just think that's deep, and it's like a lesson that a lot of people can just learn from. Like, and that's not like specific to podcasting or anything like that, or football. Like that's life. Like pursuing excellence is just a never ending journey. And I'm glad that you have that title. Like it shows a lot about like where your mind is at. And it's people that, not people, it's a place that everybody's mind needs to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's huge. And I know that for me, I always relate everything back to sports. And I'm like, you can't be a great if you don't pursue excellence in sports. You know what I mean? And in life, whatever position you're in, whatever field you're in, you can't do that. And I want to shout you out because on my podcast, I have an episode planned with you, and it's about how you are like the first person I've ever met who had the same career interest as me, which we've talked about before. And in that, you started a sports podcast, you started this podcast, and we want to end up with the same end goal. And it's like, it's inspirational to see you in your pursuit. And how can I do that? Like we've talked about, now I have my own podcast, not just Boys from the Low. And in a way, I almost got that from you, if you know what I mean. And I want to shout you out because I'm not going to say I wouldn't have done it if I didn't meet you, but to have met you definitely helped, and you were a key step in me being where I am. So I appreciate that for real.
Hey, man, it's no problem, man. That's the goal, right? That's one of the reasons, like I said, why I started pursuing excellence, was because not just for me to just like share my way of thinking and just kind of put it out. No, like I want to help inspire other people too. Like I want to, help, other people know that, hey, like you can do whatever you want, man. You just have to like pursue it the right way and take the steps, the time, the effort, the attention to detail, put it all towards whatever it is that you're chasing, right? And it's hard to do, man, right? We live in a world with so many distractions, and it's like social media too being a big thing. I mean, that's a whole podcast within itself, but just having to have that tunnel vision, bro, and just like staying locked in on what you got to do. So that's why I do this podcast, man. So
yeah, how important would you say it is to grow as an individual every day.
It's super important, right? You know, if you're not growing every day and you're just like staying in the same place, like, well, I mean, that's not good, man. You should be, whether it's you're increasing your knowledge in some form, or whether you're getting stronger physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever the case might be for you, or you're getting better at something, a talent that you have, something that you're, at least you're getting better. Like, I always say this, like, one step faster every day.
Right.
So just get one step faster, 1% better every day, and whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're making that, and eventually, dude, that improvement is gonna add up.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like in the pursuit of excellence, if you will, that a lot of the times, even though I use the example of using others to help you get better, it's not about comparing yourself to them all the time necessarily. It's about being a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And over time, like you talked about, that getting 1% faster every day, you look at 100 days, you're 100% faster. Of course, it's not like for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're focusing on yourself and getting better each and every day, it's undeniable to pursue excellence. And like I said, it's not about, you know, it's never ending. Like, there's never a point in life where it's like, all right, you've reached the top. It's like you get there and you keep going. You make a new top. You know what I mean? Like, when you're at the top of the game, just how can you be better with it? And so I feel like that's a thing. Like, people got to remember that. Like, don't get so caught up in what the world is doing as a whole. Just focus on how can I myself pursue excellence. You know what I'm saying? So, and it ties back to what I said earlier. I appreciate the fact that you even have a podcast titled Pursuing Excellence, because that shows that that's what you're trying to do, and that's like huge in life.
Yeah, and I don't have all the answers, right? You know, I think a lot of podcasts that people do, like, you know, because if you search up like self-help podcasts, like, you'll find a million of them, right? On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, on YouTube, like, but a lot of them, they don't. It's almost like they're trying to tell you how to live your life, but at the same time, it's like it's one way, it's one view.
Right, and there's so many different ways to like achieve the same goal. There's so many different paths, so many different routes.
Right. So it's like they're forcing one way of thinking. Like, well, if you want to be successful, you have to do this.
Right.
Like, everybody's different. You can't say that for everybody, because everybody is different. Everybody's on different paths.
Right. So
that's why I try to keep mine not so much, you know, specific in one way. It's just a general advice, general things, general topics, you know, like, because some of my advice might not apply to a certain person or certain people. You know, if I were to talk about something specific, right, instead of something broad where it could apply to really everybody, it's just you choose how to apply it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like, you know, like kind of what you're saying, just it's so many different ways that things can happen. Like, for people to just try to push on you, like, you have to do it this way, you have to do it this way. Of course, that way works. Clearly, it worked for them. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for me. You got to kind of figure out on your own. Maybe I should follow in those footsteps, or maybe I should try and take my own route. And you got to be honest with yourself. Like, if it's going to work, then do it. If it's not, that's okay. You got to figure out what works for you. So that's definitely big. And I wanted to also ask you, this is kind of more broad, and it might not even be a definitive answer for you, but in your pursuit of excellence, if you will, what would you say your goals are with both this podcast and your sports one, as we talk, like maybe in the next year or so, or by the time you graduate college, like what will your goals be for those?
Well, that's a great question, Miles. The goals, man, it's just really for the podcast to be more popular, man. You know,
just
continue to grow that, right? Grow the views, the subscribers, you know, and just because, I mean, like I said, you know, like I said, my goal is to be, you know, sports broadcaster and stuff, and doing these podcasts, of course, it helps me with that. The sports one in particular, of course, but this one just something I like to do for fun. You know, I just like to, you know, and it's just, you never know, man. It's just like, so you just have to keep going at it, man, and you never know where it can reach. So my goals for this is for it to just continue to grow and grow.
Yeah, I know for me, have you seen Nightcap with Ocho and Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
I know kind of with MK's world, that's kind of just whatever I want it to be, as you've seen, versus like sports broadcasting is obviously its own thing. And I look at like Shannon Sharp, and I know for me, I'm kind of like, okay, he's on First Take Mondays and Tuesdays. Everybody watching him on ESPN, but then he got him and Ocho doing whatever he want to do. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. Like, of course, like my career on like my resume, I want it to be ESPN, TNT or whatever. Yeah. But the podcasting, I feel like for me, my like pursuit is like Nightcap type of thing. Like whatever I want to talk about, we make it happen. And
Yeah, no, it's great, man. You know, and MK's world is awesome, man. What you're doing is great. You know, I love it. Like, watch all the episodes, and they're really good, man.
I appreciate that.
And so you keep going with that for sure. 'Cause you're talking about really important stuff. You know, stuff that's personal to you. You know, something
Right.
that means stuff that holds value to you. Like you know, the one episode you had mentioned like I love you 3,000, right?
Yeah, with my mom. Yeah.
With your mom. So it's like I know that holds a personal value and meaning to you. You know, it's special, right? So it's stuff like that, and it's just cool, man. You know, it's like that, doing stuff like that. You know, it can also be inspirational to other people, right?
Right.
Because you're
like I said, you inspired me in a way, and I hope to have that same effect on other people. So yeah.
Yeah. You're not just like, hey, man, you know, like, so if you want to get like, you know, blah blah blah, like this, what you do, like, you know, okay, I say this example, like, you know, like those YouTubers, like, telling guys like, hey, if you want to get girls, you gotta get in the, you know, be a gym bro, and you gotta, you know,
start dressing a certain type of way,
and all that stuff. It's like you gotta, you know,
be yourself. That's what you gotta be.
Be yourself, like yourself. You know, not saying those things won't help you in that. Of course, they'll help you, but it's like you don't have to.
You don't have to do it in that type of way. Like, don't go to the gym because bro told you to go to the gym. Go to the gym for yourself. You know what I mean? And dress how you want to dress. Don't dress to get girls. If you dress the way that you would like to dress, the girls that like that type of style are gonna come to you. You know what I'm saying? What if you get the wrong type of girl because you're trying to dress like somebody else would want to dress? You know what I mean?
Right. It's a matter of doing things for your own. In that, bro. Honestly, our world is like that, bro. We live like in a copycat world. Like a world that doesn't want to think for ourselves.
Right. And I talked about that earlier today in language arts to an extent. I'm not gonna get into it all the way, but I was essentially saying how I know personally I hate following trends from a standpoint of doing it because everyone else is doing it. Not saying that there aren't trends out there where I see I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But if I like it, if I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it because I like it, not just for the simple fact that everybody's doing it. Like a good example, you remember those red boots that everybody started wearing?
Yeah.
I would never wear those a day in my life. I'm not stopping you from wearing them, but that doesn't mean I'm finna wear them because I don't like them. But if I like them, then okay, I'll take part in that. And I feel like there's so many people that, like, we'll use the red boots as the example, didn't even necessarily like the red boots, but because it represented, like, you know, money and a certain type of look, they bought them just because. Like, I hate how the world works like that.
Man, it's messed up, bro. It really is messed up, man. It's a copycat world. Everybody trying to, you know, do the same thing. It's like, man, just be you.
Yeah.
Be you.
Like, it's crazy. I feel like there's so many people, and I'm guilty of that at times. I can't sit here and act like I'm not. Yeah, it's just, it sucks that that's the culture that we live in, that you almost live to impress other people and lose sight of who you are sometimes. Like, it's an inevitable battle. Like, it's hard to truly live to impress other people and also live to be yourself. Like, they're parallel opposites, because it's inevitable that being yourself, not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. But we also want everybody to like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, who openly just, not saying you're not going to be okay with it, like having people that dislike you. It's okay to be okay with that. But who just openly is like, yeah, I don't want anybody to like me. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a battle of being myself, but also trying to get liked. And
it's like a weird line, man. You got to walk in between.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to decide between. It's like, well, yeah, I want to be, you know, like, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't want to just be doing things because of
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's what you're talking about with that line. Like, you got to be able to walk on who you are and accept the fact that everybody might not like me. And that's not the best feeling. Of course, again, nobody loves being hated, but that's a part of it. And then there are those people like, shout out Trey Young, you know what I'm saying? He's the villain in New York, and he takes the bow and stuff like that. And I feel like that's a thing that people got to, like, embody and embrace, is sometimes it's okay to be the villain when you're doing it being authentically you. Like, Trey Young has no ill intent against the city of New York, but they don't like him. He's just playing basketball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're doing authentically you, if people don't like that, that's their problem.
That's it, man. That's why I just live my life the way I live it, man. You know, and again, I'm not perfect, man. I make mistakes.
We all do, of course.
We all do. You know, but I strive to be better, man. I try to learn from those things. You know?
Yeah.
And that's just the end of it, you know, and that's just how it should go. You know, try to get, like I said, 1% better every day. Just in something. Like, just, you don't even have to be, because you know, people want instant gratification, bro. People want things to just come like overnight, and like, you know, you're not gonna get a six pack overnight. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
of
work
course
like
not.
that.
Nothing worthwhile will come that easy.
Right. So you have to work for it. You have to get up. You have to go to work. You're gonna have to put in the effort. That's just how it goes, man. I mean, that's life. So.
Yeah, I know. Even with the being yourself and like not necessarily wanting to always please others, that's a thing you can get 1% better at every day. Like accepting the fact, like, okay, let me be me today. Like each and every day. Next thing you know, you don't even think about it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Yeah, and that's why I respect so much about you, man. You know, is that you have a way about going, about yourself, man. And I respect that because you just do your thing. You're a freshman, man. But it's like I wouldn't even think you're a freshman.
It's crazy. This girl that I have human communications with, like we met this semester and everything, and she's a junior. And in my mind, I'm still in the high school world of assuming that everybody I have class with is also in my class. Yeah. So I'm thinking she's a freshman. And in her mind, she's thinking I'm a junior. So the first month of this semester has gone by, and we had it all messed up. And then she said something yesterday that made me she said she joined the chess club, and she learned how to play her freshman year. And I was like, wait, she is not a freshman. And I was like, that's crazy. Like it feels like almost everybody I come across is like surprised by the fact that I'm a freshman. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, man, because your mind doesn't operate like a college freshman. I mean, and it's, not hate on college freshmen. I was one too, right? So it's like, it's just a matter of, some people are just more mature than others, and I can just tell that from you, man. You think a certain way, and, you're not out here just doing whatever, you focus, so that's a good thing, man, and you just got to keep it up, man, like with your podcast. So I'm going to ask you about that, man, in this world, like what, I know you said, like, I kind of inspired you a little bit to start it, but like, what is your purpose with that? If you have to.
Well, as I talked about in the vision, the first episode, it's kind of just like, I feel like it's what God is telling me to do, and I want to follow that. And long term, it's so many things that I feel like doing it will get me to certain places. And this is how I have to start. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost my pursuit of excellence, not even trying to just use that name, but genuinely like doing this and starting this when I am like my freshman year of college. I can almost kind of see in my head, okay, the 4-year plan by the time I graduate college, keeping this up. As you know, I've uploaded once a week since I started it.
Yeah.
Keeping it going for like 4 years of uploading once a week, that's a lot of episodes. But that's what I see in my head. And then 4 years from now, I'm gonna look back and say, okay, I've grown this much. I have 4 years under my belt of talking in front of a camera with different people, asking them different questions. How does that help prepare me for sports broadcasting? While also at the same time, hopefully 4 years from now, I have a following that I'm like, that's behind me, and I can make some revenue off of that. On top of that, be able to go into the real world with that on my resume. Like, oh yeah, I've done podcasting and interviewing for 4 years. So it's more so that it's fun in the now because I get to ask people in my life that I know whatever I want to ask them. We talk about whatever we want to talk about, but also it's growth and an opportunity to just become a better version of myself, become 1% better each and every episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, man. And it's a great thing that you're doing. Like I said, it's the same thing with me. I do this because I want to, like I said, get better. It's going to help me get to where I want to get to. It's something on my resume. Like, I did podcasts for, by the time, I get to that force, it'll be like, 4, 5.
No, you're ahead of me with the podcasting. So 5 for you because you started your senior year of high school. I started my freshman year of college. So
5 years. So it's like, dang, man. You know what I mean? So it's fun, and I love to do it too, man. It's fun.
Yeah, it's like, and that's one thing that I also love. Like, of course, you understand and like how fun it is as doing it. Everybody I've had featured on it so far talks about when we're done how much fun it was, and they didn't expect it to be that much fun, and it doesn't feel like we talked for as long as we talked. Because when you get people when you're good at it, like me and you are, because I remember the first episode me and you did together, that like it was yours. It didn't feel like we talked for that long. You remember us talking about that? Yeah, when you're good at doing that, and you get people to come on and just express their thoughts and feelings in a way that's like enjoyable and they're talking about things that are enjoyable, it's like it's a really fun experience for everybody involved. So, and then I would assume, you know, the viewers are having a good time watching, like, dang, that was really enjoyable. And then the video's over and they're like, dang, it went by that fast. You know what I'm saying? So it's real cool to actually like be a part of that.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. You know, and it's just, like I said, you know, and when I was actually, it's so funny, man, when I started this podcast in high school, you know, I was thinking about like, what am I going to make this about? You know, like, what am I, like, what is this going to, I knew I wanted to do one. I was like, okay, what is this going to be? You know, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to make it like just whatever, a motivational podcast interview type hybrid between the two. Just get different people on, and if you go through my channel, you'll see I've talked with a lot of different people, and got so many different perspectives, and I think that's important too. Right?
Yeah, I remember you brought up Professor Tannenbaum. Tannenbaum, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
And I saw that you did an interview with him, and I like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the opportunity for you to get different perspectives, because I remember we talked about how much you enjoy his class and him as a professor. So to see him featured on here, it was just really cool and then to hear you say that, like, it's whatever you want to do. Like, I appreciate that, like, that authenticity from you.
Yeah, and we had a great time. You know, so if you guys haven't checked that one out, please do. It's a great episode.
Yeah.
He teaches interpersonal communication and human communication and stuff like that. It's really cool to learn that type of stuff. But I just like I said, get these people on here and get different, because we're all different, man. So it's good to hear different ideas, different thoughts, different perspectives. You know, like yours too. You offer things that I don't even really think about. But it's like, when you say them, I'm like, oh, you know what? He's got a point with that. So
yeah.
That's one of the main reasons why I started pursuing excellence. So
that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, like I said, when you told me that like you wanted me to come up with what we were talking about, I was like, yeah, that title is all I need. Like, it's deeper than just a title.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely deeper than a title. It means so much more, man. So much more. You know, and I want it to mean a lot to everybody.
Right. It should. It should.
You know, yeah, man. But the main gist of it is, we're all walking this walk of life, and you know it's gonna be tough. But it's like you just gotta keep battling, man. You're gonna lose sometimes. You're gonna get beat. But it's like you gotta get back up and use that failure as a way to grow. So.
Right, for sure. I know we talked about on the first podcast of Pursuing Excellence, like the end goal of both of us, you know, working together, ESPN, TNT, however that goes, and I can definitely see that, and I hope we make that happen for sure. Like, I feel like these steps, these podcasts that we're filming together, because like I said, I want to get you on mine soon. Like, I already kind of see that happening, probably before February is over with. But anyway, like I said, Shannon Sharpe and Ocho, like the kind of vibes, I feel good about it for sure.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's fun. So, you know, and like I said, I wanted to get you on, man. We've been trying to do this for a while now. We finally were able to do it. You know, and that's like, you know what? I'm want Miles to pick the topic, man, because I just think I just had a feeling you would come up with something like really interesting, man. You know, and he's like, yeah, how about the title? It's like, okay, I mean, so this, pursuing excellence, man. Going strong. Like I said, 2 years. I mean, so, you know, goal is to keep on going, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I feel like that's my main takeaway that I would say, like, everybody should walk away from this saying is that each and every day get 1% better. There's no matter how good you are, if you're number one at whatever you're doing, you can get 1% better and just gain on who you were yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Compare yourself to yourself. That's the only person that you can truly say, I was better today than I was yesterday. So
yeah, yourself, right? You know, not Joe over here or this guy over here. Like, no, like you, because I mean it's your life, man.
Yeah.
It's your life. So it's like, what good is it going to do to compare? I
mean, yeah, and with that, also I feel like people got to understand it's not perfection. Like, there's going to be certain days where you don't get 1% better.
Yeah.
But that's what it is about, the pursuit of it. Pursuit doesn't necessarily mean you're going to obtain it. Like, for example, if you are in the Olympics, everybody's pursuing the gold medal, but there's only one. And it's about the pursuit of it is what got you to the Olympics in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, that pursuit to get past your country's trials and then regionals, and now you're in the gold medal race. So just that pursuit is what gets you in positions. And if you fail, Or you don't have the best day, that's cool. Just keep pursuing. Maybe you'll get the gold medal next time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's it, man. Everybody's, it's like not the same thing like, with, NBA or
Yeah.
NFL with Super. Everybody, there's 32 teams in the NFL, man.
Only 2 of them are playing on Sunday.
Right, and only 2 of them are playing, and only one of them
is gonna get it. Yeah.
Gonna get it. So it's like that pursuit, that chase, man. It's not gonna be easy. 17-game season, man. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
It's a grind, but in the end, one will rise.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, of course, sports is an easy metaphor, but it's not just about sports. Like there's gold medals in everybody's life.
Right.
Just because you don't get it today doesn't mean you can't get it tomorrow. Keep pursuing excellence and see how far that'll take you. Because if you truly pursue it and you truly get 1% better each and every day, and you know that, you're not just lying, you're going to get your gold medal. Everybody's going to get their own, but they got to put in the work.
Easy, man. That's it. Well, it's not easy, but it's, it's I don't know how to say it, but yeah.
It's a concept you can follow or
right.
something like that along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it because none of it is easy.
Yeah, it's not, like those gold medals, they're not easy. Like we talked the Super Bowl, the 2 teams, the 49ers and Chiefs didn't get here because it was easy, but they ain't stopped pursuing, and here they go.
Right. So there you go. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I think that should pretty much wrap us up, man, for the episode. Unless there's anything you want to add.
No, I wanted to just ask one thing.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
With the pursuit of excellence in Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, I just feel like I had to ask on camera, who do you like?
Well, are you asking who I think is going to win, who I want to win?
Both.
Okay, so I want the 49ers to win because I at least need like a couple months of this Taylor Swift stuff to stop. Like just so the Chiefs can just like be put down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But analytically, I think Kansas City's going to win.
Yeah.
So those are my predictions. What about you?
I'm Chiefs for both.
Okay.
Taylor Swift doesn't really bother me. I understand she's taking over the media of the NFL, but that's a part of it. She's a star. She's dating another star. Yeah. They're going to push that. Like, if she was anybody else, they would do the same thing. I don't think it's special because it's Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? If he was dating Beyonce, hypothetically, like, they would do the same thing, where I can't hold that against Taylor Swift. And so I'm not going to say I'm tired of them. I actually want to see a dynasty. I love seeing the Jordans, the Tom Bradys, the LeBrons. And if Patrick Mahomes can get 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, that's like to say I witnessed that. I want to be able to say I witnessed that. And I'd rather be able to say I witnessed him get 3 and 4 than I witnessed Brock Purdy end it. Don't get me wrong. Mr. Irrelevant is a crazy story too. But I want to see that dynasty story. And then on top of that, like you said, analytically, who do I think is going to win? I think we all are leaning towards the great Patrick Mahomes. So I'm in both my heart and my mind are with the Chiefs. So
yeah, so we will see what happens, man.
Yeah.
It should be a fun one for sure. Okay, man. Well, yeah, like you said, if that's it, man.
Yeah, I just wanted your opinion on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, you guys heard here, and if you want to hear more of my opinions, go check out Jay Smith Down, my other podcast.
Yes. And also for me, if you want to hear more of me, MK's World, and episode about once a week, and I'm gonna keep that up for y'all.
Yeah, man, for sure. You guys check him out. He's got great. You're doing great with that, man. You're doing.
I appreciate that.
Keep it up, man. It's very impressive.
Yeah, we're gonna make an episode happen soon for sure. Trust.
Yeah, just let me know.
I got you.
Yeah, man, that'll wrap us up for Pursuing Excellence today. I'm your host, Jaden, of course. Miles, my boy here. And we will see you next time, on Pursuing Excellence.
Yes, sir.
So.